mean, they got X amount of years to spend that money. So let's spend that money now, and then bring in people, bring in the guy, like whether it's Louis Riddick or Wolf or whatever you, bring these guys in, great talent evaluators, and let's get the people that we need to be successful.
Are you listening?
49ers! Ronbo Sports, representing the Niner Empire organization worldwide. You're good too. Don't be a lone Niner. There's so many 49er fans that want to share the experience with you of supporting the greatest team in football, San Francisco 49ers. Go to theninerempire.com and check out all the details. You'll love what you see. Hey, are you a little bit concerned that it's taking a little while for Jed York to come to a decision as to what he's going to do? I realize he needs to take his time at doing what he's doing, but what I'm concerned about is he hasn't even figured out who he wants to hire as his general manager. Now, here's what this means. If it's going to take as long as it is to do that, head coaches are leaving. I was hoping that by midweek, now that Jed York would already have his general manager picked out, name him, grab the general manager, drop Paraag off somewhere, anywhere. Get your general manager, and let's go look for a head coach. Because soon, there's not going to be anybody. It's just a worrisome thought. So what's going to end up happening next is the dominoes are already falling. You've got 3 head coaches that have already been picked out. Jacksonville made their choice Monday. Buffalo followed. And also Denver. Denver made their choice, but the thing is, they're all defensive-minded coaches. And the very strange thing is, Denver picked out Vance Joseph. Why would they pick out Vance Joseph? There's nothing wrong with Denver's defense. So why would they pick out a defensive-minded coach? Good. I've become, and maybe you have too, I've become an advocate of Steve Young football and his ideal of what we should be as the San Francisco 49ers. Let's get back to the days of when the San Francisco 49ers were on top of the food chain. The 49ers were the team that people had to prepare for, to stop offensively. Hey, we had good defenses. But now as it is, teams aren't afraid of the 49ers offensively. We're just not scary. It needs to get back to that. We can come up with a good defense, just get a good DC, we'll get a good defense. But for God's sakes, fix that offense. We're sucking, and it's gotta stop. Do you realize, in the past 13 years, we have been outside of the top 10 for yards gained and points? Oh, come on. And I didn't even realize that until I caught that in a stat the other day as I was reading about, as you know, the 10th of this month was 35th anniversary of the catch. Joe Montana to Dwight Clark beating the Dallas Cowboys. And that was beginning of the legend of the San Francisco 49ers that has been interrupted by this generation. That's got to stop. We're almost to 2020, and we've not but one time challenged for the Super Bowl. We lost. That's got to change. Here's my theory, though, and my real concern. I came up with this. I have a feeling this is so true. We know that the 2 Los Angeles teams, and now that San Diego is moving to LA, they are part of the Los Angeles teams. The 2 Los Angeles teams, the San Francisco 49ers. There's Kyle Shanahan, still on the ticket. There is Sean McVay, still on the ticket. There is Josh McDaniel, still on the ticket. If, indeed, neither one of the Los Angeles clubs, if they don't pick out Sean McVay or Josh McDaniels this weekend, that means every team in California is shooting for Kyle Shanahan. Kyle is in the playoffs this weekend. If indeed he wins, then of course, if nobody says anything, that means he is the one. If he loses, here's where it gets crazy. If Kyle loses this weekend with the Atlanta Falcons versus the Seahawks, which is not going to happen, more about that in a minute. If that happens, Kyle's phone immediately starts ringing. It's going to be San Diego, what used to be San Diego. It's going to be the Rams. They're going to go after him, including us. Why? Because that means that's why Jed is dragging his feet on this. Well, not dragging his feet, but he's taking his time. Jed's got interviews lined up for Friday. Does that sound like a man that's in a hurry? Otherwise, he would already appoint Louis Riddick and bring in Josh McDaniels. Or if that wild rumor about him going to go ahead and stay with Tom Gamble is true, then of course he stays there. But why would he bother to go through all this? It makes no sense, right? So Kyle is the man. Everybody will wait until another week after the playoffs. They go and play Dallas. And I got a feeling they're going to beat Dallas as well. Dallas isn't ready for Atlanta in a playoff situation. Those two rookies are good, but this is where it stops right there. And then, of course, why wouldn't you go for Kyle? The Super Bowl winner or the Super Bowl contender? He took an average Atlanta team and took them this far to the playoffs? Of course he's the one. This is where it gets insanely crazy. Go watch here this weekend. Jed makes a decision Friday or Saturday, then it's going to be Josh McDaniels, Louis Riddick. If the two LA clubs don't make any phone calls this weekend, it's Kyle. It's been Kyle the whole time. Whoa! You know I got a faithful I want you to meet. Let's go check him out right now. Damn, here we are again, more drama in the offseason. We need a GM, we need a coach, and we need to stop losing. I got my man Kool here. Man, Kool and I are going to talk some football. Kool, what's up?
Oh, man, it's all good in the hood.
Cool. In fact, man, that's what it needs to be all throughout the Latin Empire. Cool in the hood of the empire, man. Because, we got so much to look forward to from last 2 years of pain and misery and suffering. When I think about it, it's 3 years of pain and misery and suffering. Even with the last year with Harbaugh, we only went 8-8. And so, it's been 3 years of misery, bro.
Yeah, and so this draft pick, I mean, the draft has to really count. I mean, there's many needs, that we need. Linebacker, inside linebacker, nose tackle. I could even go for a safety, quarterback, another offensive lineman. But, I mean, there's so many needs that we have, which I think can be addressed in free agency.
I hope that too. Now, you know what? That brings around the question, are you satisfied then with the guys that Jed are talking to right now for especially for GM? The coaches have been picked up for the last couple of days, but we're talking Gutekunst, we're talking Riddick, we're talking Wolf. Any of these guys, do they get you going? I mean, are you excited about these choices or possible choices?
Well, the only thing that I can see is that Gamble has worked with Riddick before. So if Gamble is already there, that's already something that that there's familiarity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah, and so when you have people that work together before, it makes it a whole bunch easier. And then it's not like they just worked one season together. They worked, more than a couple seasons together. And Riddick, I think, has a good idea exactly what this team needs. So I think that it is a plus, but I think they also need to really bolster their scouting department also. Mm-hmm. So it's not just the GM, it's not just those guys, but you have to also think about upgrading the scouting department now that Balky is gone, because he did a lot of that himself. Even though he wasn't very great at it. I mean, so
good Lord.
Yeah, so
but you're right.
I would say, I mean, we've got like over $80 million to spend. So
100.
The first person I go after right now, Don Terry Poe, nose tackle. That's going to solidify that line, and that's going to get you help, because I mean, the running backs for the last 10 games out of 11 games in a row.
I think it was more than that. Oh, yeah, that's right. They did take a break.
Yeah, it was obscene after Navarro was hurt and was out of the lineup.
After the Dallas game.
Ran and ran and ran. So, you need to solidify that nose tackle. That's what Ian Williams was so important over the last couple of years because he was able to, to plug that hole. Mm-hmm. And then, so, Dontari Poe, I think, would be the perfect guy to bring in. Plus, you got money to spend. You got to spend it, otherwise you're going to lose it. Mm-hmm. So, they got X amount of years to spend that money. So let's spend that money now and then bring in the guy, like whether it's Louis Riddick or Wolf or what have you. Bring these guys in, great talent evaluators, and let's get the people that we need to be successful. Right now I'm looking at, like you were talking about, Reuben Foster. There's Raekwon McMillan.
Yeah.
That he's also really good. And then there's another inside linebacker, Cunningham under Vanderbilt, that I think that between those three guys, I think that depending on where they go, with the first pick, I think they should actually trade down, maybe down to like the 6th, 7th, 8th pick, because that's where Foster is supposed to probably be slated to go, but you don't know what Cleveland's going to do, because Cleveland could just come in and pick Trubisky. And I think like about Trubisky is that, he's accurate, but he's only done this thing for 1 year. Solid. Mm-hmm. Where Watson has done it for a couple years, so I'm not really sold on the quarterbacks per se. So I don't know if I would be willing to take that chance, on the second pick going quarterback. I don't know what you feel about it, but I'm just kind of skeptical about that.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? Somebody said something about Watson. They said, you know how many all-pro throws he made in that game? He's not. I think that Watson made 1 or 2 throws that would be acceptable in the NFL. That kind of worried me because it's a different game, right? Anticipation. You got to be able to hit guys, running routes, timing routes, things like that, throwing into tight windows. And they say Watson didn't really do that. He still won that game on athleticism. So I'm not all that crazy sold on him. Like, one day did not a summer make, right? One hot day. But here's the thing, Trubisky, like you said, he does have that kind of ability, but he's only got a year of experience. So, you got to worry about that too.
And, and I was listening to Mike Nolan, Dick Nolan. Dick Nolan was the old quarterback, old coach for the 49ers back in the 70s. Yeah. Mike Nolan, I was listening to Mike Nolan yesterday, and he was telling me that he had a hard time picking between Aaron Rodgers and
Alex.
And Alex. And he said that he liked both of them, but he thought that Alex had a bigger upside. So if you're trying to compare these two quarterbacks, you're thinking Trubisky probably has, Watson might have a bigger upside down the road, but we all know that when you're scrambling and you're not as accurate, we already got that in Kaepernick. He's not as accurate, but he can scramble. Trubisky's probably the closest thing to the real deal.
Pocket
but
passes,
I'm just not.
really.
1 year is not. I don't know about 1 year. You have to do it over a series of couple years, to really win. What I think is the ideal quarterback. Look at all the guys that have been doing it before. Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. These guys, they've been doing it for years before they actually came in and they did it in the NFL. So 1 year.
But you know what, though? That's why, from you saying that, though, you bring Trubisky in, because obviously if he can do what he's done in 1 year, what would he be like in the next 2 years if he was tutored by somebody, a veteran the 49ers could find to bring in? And that's the biggest question.
Jeff Garcia.
He'd be great. But the thing is, you still got to start another quarterback between now and you got to bridge 2 years somehow. I would say about 2 seasons. Yeah. If it's not Cap, if it's not Gabbert, if it's not Ponder.
Oh, it's not going to be either one of these.
Yeah,
the quarterback is not on the roster.
That's what I'm hearing too.
And it all depends on who the coach is, because whoever the coach is, that's who the quarterback is going to be. That's who they're going to determine.
There it is. Now, these are all those kind of things that are going to make a big, big difference in what's going to happen next. You know what, though? In your opinion, though, now you've addressed offensive or defensive needs. You just addressed defensive needs and offensive needs. Which way are you going to lean toward in the draft? And also remember, are you going to do your offense with the draft? Or are you going to do that with your free agency? Wait, this is the fun part, because I'm enjoying this because I'm talking to people everywhere, and they say, well, we should address the defensive needs through the draft. No, we should defensively go for the free agent, and in the draft, we focus on the playmakers on offense. But cool, we both know our defense is only 2 or 3 players away. So
That's what I'm saying.
The offense needs a lot of work. So which direction are you going to take?
Well, this is one way I can see it. I mean, we definitely got to get that inside linebacker, and that's got to be our main focus. Like I said, we can get Dontari Poe as the nose tackle in free agency. We need to get another safety because Eric Reed, I don't know, he's not playing up to his capability, and I think that sooner or later, I see that that's going to be a weak link. Yep. The safety position. But as far as offense, they're going to have to go wide receiver big time. I would say they might even draft maybe 2 or 3 wide receivers. You got Juju Smith. Yeah. I think he's pretty good. Mike Williams. I mean,
there you go.
Mike Williams is good.
There you go.
But if you're picking in the 2nd or 3rd round, you're looking at guys like the guy from LSU, Malachi. I mean, he's pretty decent. I mean, there's a lot of players out there that can just come in and to be able to fill that need, because we're going to need more than just one. We're going to need to have probably 2 or 3 wide receivers. And where they put the extensions on these tight ends, I'm kind of frustrated, because Selleck, they gave him an extension before the season. They gave our guy they gave him an extension like right before he got hurt, like the weekend before he got hurt. I'm just not sold on those guys playing tight end. I mean, I guess maybe because I miss Delaney Walker so much. I miss even Vernon Davis. I think was by far better than these two. I mean, but
especially this prime.
I would love to have another guy like Delaney Walker on our team.
Yeah, and Vance and if he's going to get hurt, and Selleck is just inconsistent. So I agree with all of that. So
they wasted money down. I'm glad that they did put some money down with Ray Armstrong, because I think that you need a solid 2 or 3 inside linebackers, but he's more of a safety than a linebacker,
which makes him good in coverage, though. That's why it packages Ray. But did you check out? Hodges Jr. jumped out of a bag in the last couple of games. So Hodges Jr. didn't look
like he never played before, and he just came out of nowhere and just played up to his capability. And that's actually turned out to be a pretty good move. They only traded like a 6th round pick or something for him. Yeah. So I mean, we got 11 picks, and there's like 3 of them are compensatory picks. So we're gonna have opportunities, but the real deal is, how can you win like the Seahawks win? And I use the Seahawks as a good example.
Unfortunately,
because if you look at their team, they have 24 undrafted free agents.
Oh, what's always
when you have 24 undrafted free agents, that means you're scouting like a maniac. We need to be like that. We need to be able to build and build and build. And so when we have people that are on the practice squad, something happens, they can come in and play right away. Like that Marcus Rush, we should never give anybody an opportunity to take him from us, because I thought that he would, down the road, he would be a player. Now we don't know, because now he's in Jacksonville.
I know. All he's got to do is learn how to stop the run. That was their biggest beef with Marcus. He can't stop the run. So it was a mistake. I tell you. Hey, cool. Are we looking at another 4-win season? Because you see, a lot of 49er fans went out and said, we're still not going to win many games next year. You see it that way?
No, well, I don't see 4 games, but I'm like this. You look in the NFL, and a team can turn around more quickly than a baseball team or basketball team. For instance, look at Carolina and Denver. They didn't even make the playoffs this year. They were in the Super Bowl last year.
Yep.
So that was a big turnaround. You get the right. I mean, look when Harbaugh came in, they went from 6 wins or whatever, and they went and won the division
And
and went to
13
the
wins
NFC
that
Championship.
season. Yeah.
So if you bring in the person you need to lead this team, and you get some guys that are ready to run through some brick walls,
Yeah.
you can get back to the promised land.
Yeah. Yeah. Because look at Dallas. Dallas picked
Exactly.
ahead of us last year in the draft. Now look at them. Best
Exactly.
team in the NFC as far as the record goes. So you're right. Absolutely right. So there you go. For those who've been concerned about that, no definite answer on that yet, but it depends on the coach and the attitude of the next 49er generation.
Right.
All right, cool. Give me a shout out. You were at the stadium now. The 49ers just scored. 3, 2, 1.
Niners!
KoolWhipp. So glad to meet you, brah. I'll see you online. And coming up, I'm telling you right now, I'm enjoying this weekend because this slate can be wiped completely clean of our enemies. We already seen the Raiders bite the dirt this past weekend, and now it's time for the Hawks to say goodbye to 2016. There's no way. The Hawks are not going to beat the Falcons this weekend. It's the Battle of the Birds, and the Falcons are going to take the Hawks apart. And we'll be right there to watch this. In your face, at your place. And if you thought last week was fun, whoa! This is going to be a good time as well. You need the Ronbo Sports app, and we'll check that out together. All the instructions will be there for you. Very easy instructions. Get that app anyway, because the fact is, the app is also equipped with an alert to let you know of any and every emergency meeting. And I call them emergency meetings because it's not going to be about me talking to you. It's about you joining in on the conversation and having to say what you want to say, because everybody in the 49er Empire wants to know what you're thinking, especially me. And also Red and Gold Radio, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 7 p.m. Also a call-in show. And if you don't think that is the best radio show for the 49ers available, come check it out and you tell me if that ain't the case. I'll see you Saturday. Hit like if you do, please. Share and subscribe. I can't wait to see you on Saturday. Count me out of here.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Niners!
Oh, this is crazy.